let's go to your block now, which is PN.
Okay.
This is a more interesting one. You want to hear? Of course,
getting hot now.
Now, let's be honest. PN is, I think, Indian voters have become a bit cautious about PN. I think the best show of this was in the KKB by-elections, where I remember your party president, Punithan, was saying that how he predicts that 40% of the Indian vote will go to y'all.
Okay.
But what happened was 70% of the Indian vote went to PH, a rise of 10%, right? And when they went on the ground, they asked the Indian voters, the answer was very simple, because of the handouts that are given by PH. That was the only reason, not because the leaders are good, no, just the handouts, right?
Yeah,
Which is
right.
fair. So why should we Indians now look to PN and say, you guys are the ones who are going to take care of our well-being?
Okay, it's not about what you say on paper. It's basically about how you work together with people.
Yeah.
Like, for example, let's talk about KKB, like you just said. KKB, they promised a lot of allocations for our estate workers, homes and whatnot. Did you see that happening in the budget? Was that allocated? No, none. Bullshit, man. Same thing with every other elections as well. They'll promise many things, right? For example, in Sungai Bakap as well, they will promise they're going to rebuild the schools. I hope that happens. If it does happen, I really will commend it. But most times, it's just smokescreen. They'll just give you some mutton biryani and chicken biryani. They'll promise you everything and say, go and vote. And that's it. They will look after you after that. I think with PN, we are really serious about advocating against systematic inequalities, right? You must understand, PN is actually born from speaking against 1MDB. When what do you call, PN didn't really was serious on that.
Correct.
We are delivering change, not just for Indians, for all. Like, for example, do you know in Selangor by-election that happened last year?
Makota, is it?
No, the entire state.
Oh,
the state.
yeah.
In the manifesto, PN actually allocated 50 million just for Indian transformation in their manifesto. That was not given by PH. So I say, through collaborations right now with multiple parties, including PAS, Bersatu, with Gerakan as well, we are coming up with newer plans and newer strategies, basically on how we can advocate better for our community. So, yeah, I think it is fair game to say that PN is not what you think it is. It is not. It's actually parties that are coming together to champion each other communities, including Indian.
No, of course. But of course, MIPP is now the Indian component in PN, and they have, of course, through you and, of course, your party president, you guys have been very vocal about your thoughts on PMX and the unity government, government. And you have brought up a lot of topics, especially in the area of policies and the moves governing the Indian community. But when PN rejected Urmei's entry, you and MIPP were silent. So why the silence when it came to this issue?
Sometimes, right, being the loudest voice doesn't bring the best outcome. Sometimes being silent might be more strategic. Okay, strategic silence can also be powerful. So, an enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? And likewise, I see parties like Urumei, even Muda actually, to be honest, as friendly components, friendly parties. We have sat down with all of them. We have had teas together. We had shared notes. We have shared discussions as well. But to be honest with you, I think both of them are still going through transformative milestones. Muda is having this transformation on the leadership. Urumi is still struggling with their what do you call, registration.
Registration, yeah.
Right. So there's still a long way to go. But I think when it gets there, I think our leaders will be sitting down to see how we can partner with them. Let's see how it goes.
But then of course another thing that would happen again, which I mean, it's like what you said. But I also, I think, as a voter, what we want is not just words but action. The action must suit what your belief system. So of course, recently members of MIPP were involved in the, I wouldn't say protest, but the show of discontent towards what's happening in Bangladesh, especially towards the Hindus in Bangladesh, right? Now, in this case, of course, your deputy president was actually asked to go to the police to make a statement, right?
Correct, that's right.
But when I saw the pictures, I noticed one thing.
What's that?
He was alone there. I didn't see any members of Bersatu. I didn't see any members of PAS also condemning this issue. Okay, so how can we believe that PN truly has the Indian welfare or the Indian sensitivities in mind when they do not come together with the only Indian component party to support them in their their opposition towards these issues?
Okay, again, don't trust what you see on mainstream media. People from all parties in PN actually spoke on this issue. I was there actually with Brother Subra and also with Dr. Satish. We were representing MIPP. But not just that, there was also people from DHPP, right? And Bersatu Bersekutu as well. We are all not wearing any of our uniforms because it's more like an NGO at the particular point. Okay, so but speaking about that was on ground. People on medias, do you know people like Wan Faisal actually condemned this on a global media, I think CNN if I'm mistaken. They actually condemned and said we need to give support and protect the minorities in Bangladesh. Wan Faisal spoke about this. The guy from the party they call racist, spoke about Indians in Bangladesh. Now, let me ask you, why was there radio silence on the part of PMX and his government against the Indian brutality in Bangladesh? Why didn't you question that?
Because
not a single hood.
Yeah.
They went to Bangladesh, he met the guy, but there was not a single statement saying that he actually condemned it.
No, fair enough. I agree with that.
For a man who's globally outspoken on many, many issues, on many, many things, he did not even talk about that. So he didn't talk about people globally. It's not taking care of people in Malaysia. What does that say about that man?
No, let me just answer your question. I agree with that. That actually happened. I also logged, okay, this guy has gone to visit them, but there's no thing spoken about this. And I think it is easy for, and I'm not supporting him here. I'm seeing the issue from a pragmatic perspective. When you are in power, there are many considerations to be put. For example, like trade, bilateral trade, workers' exchange. There's a lot of issues to be concerned about. Now, we, from PMX's past actions, like the whole speech that he made, the way he answered that girl, the allocations and all this, it is easy to see that the current government does not have Indians at the highest priority. You can even watch some of my interviews, like the one I did with Vaidya Murthy, who clearly said that when he proposed that according to him, he's mentioned the interview, you guys can check it out, where he says that earlier part of before he became Prime Minister, Anwar Ibrahim did not want an Indian party in PH. Now, when a man says that, I accept the fact that I'm not important in you. So why do I keep going to you and asking? It's like it's expecting a fish to climb a tree. Now, so as an Indian voter, I want to see what I don't see here. That's what I want to see. Then I'll vote for you because you are doing the things that I want. And if PN truly believes in the Indian vote, in the Indian people, then I'm expecting that, because I do no longer expect anything from PH. I'll be very honest and blank with you, because that's the way I judge a party based on its actions. So that's why I feel that's why I never questioned it. And to be honest, a lot of the guests I brought on my podcast have been very critical of Madani. But that's why what I want is I want to see what I don't see in PH in PN.